Welcome to a new fragrance review. Today I'm going to tell you why fragrances are getting reformulated. So, reformulation. There was a time where when a fragrance was made, it was always going to be those things in the fragrance. And then something happened that changed completely the world of perfumery. And it's the brand of Chanel that started it. More specifically, the founder of the brand, Chanel, Coco Chanel. And what she said was that she was wearing fragrance on her skin, and fragrance should be worn on your skin. Before that, people, when they were wearing fragrance, they were not putting it directly in their skin, they were putting it on their clothes. Some people were even putting it on their handkerchief. Even some fragrances are well known today, were made specifically for that. I'm thinking of Acqua di Parma Colonia, was made specifically to put on a handkerchief. That was the goal in the beginning because people were not putting the fragrance on their skin. And what that changed? Some ingredients. I'm thinking, for example, with bergamot, that was a really big thing. In bergamot, there's some component inside of it that is really bad for skin. And even I'm thinking also of grapefruit essential oil. That's another good one. If you put it on your skin and the sun touch the skin where there's the oil, there's some bad reaction on your skin. I'm not sure exactly what it does, if you get a rash, if you can get cancer, but a lot of those fragrances have don't had those compounds that were making light bad for your skin. Also, some product were just plainly bad for your skin, either on short term or on long term. So since people were starting to put fragrance on their skin, they had to do reformulation, and that's really where it started. Now, there's more than just this reason. There's more come to them. But really often what happens is that every year they renew the list of stuff that is bad for your skin and how much is the maximum you could put in a fragrance before it's bad for your skin. Every year they renew this. There's a company or an organization called IFRA, and they manage this. So every year they say, here's a new list. And people that do fragrance, especially the big company, have to comply on those lists. And sometimes those lists are not in favor of actual fragrance that are in the market, so they have to formulate them. So that's one of the reasons. The other reason is an economic reason. So if you're thinking of one specific ingredient, a lot of ingredient could be a good example for that. Usually natural ingredient are more expensive than synthetic ingredient. If you take veteran essential oil, it's more expensive than Vertofix. If you take vanilla essential oil, it's more expensive than, I think there's like 100 different compounds inside of vanilla that create a smell and a taste. So I mean, any of these alone, especially those like vanillin that can be synthesized, all those compounds are cheaper than real vanilla. Jasmine is one of the most expensive ingredient in perfumery. Also, jasmine absolute, way more expensive than whatever other thing you can use to recreate it. So there's many things that can happen. First is fragrance get too expensive to make. Something happen that makes some ingredient more expensive to a point where it doesn't make sense to make the fragrance with that specific ingredient, especially expensive ingredient that have something that makes it harder to get it through season. So those ingredients could transform by something else. Other economical reason could be the fragrance just don't sell enough and the company just downsize. When you were thinking of really old brand that we don't hear much about, like Jeffrey Bean or Jacques Bogart, Bijan, all those brands. Bijan is a good example because the fragrance, I think it used to be something like $200, or I don't know if it got discontinued and it was $200, but it was a really expensive fragrance. And often a lot of those old school fragrance, usually the one that get most reformulated, they get less popular, but companies still want to make money. They still have people that buy them, so they just reformulated as they can and drop the price so they still make sales. And that's a reason financially they could want to reformulate the fragrance. And last financial reason is when a brand is bought, it's really the worst. You know, when a brand is bought, that the whole lineup will get screwed up. And the reason it's simple. It's just plain business. When you have a corporation and you buy some corporation or like you building or boy something, your goal is to make money. And usually when it's a building or a business, what you will do is to transform the business so it's a better deal than what you have. And with specifically fragrance, we could talk about different aspects of business on this, but specifically with fragrance, what it means is that a fragrance that will cost, let's say, $20 to make and that they sell for $100, they will manage to make it for $5 and still sell it at $100 and make more profit this way. So the deal would be better for them. Sadly, when it happens, it's never a good deal for the consumer. Indeed, you'll see also that with clothes and other stuff like that. When the brand is bought, quality drops drastically and it becomes usually a bad brand that still have the old name it has. Another reason a fragrance could get reformulated, and it's rare, but some companies, some fragrance people are doubting that it's the reason, especially the original fragrance that will get reformulated this way, and it's to sell more of the flanker. A good one is Acqua di Gio. Acqua di Gio, a lot of people say that it's not as powerful as it used to be. But when you look at the flanker, they're all better and more powerful, and that could be the reason. We will never really know for that for sure, or if it's like as it is, or if it's like the Mandela effect or something. But that's one of the reasons a company could transform, like reformulate fragrance, because they want to sell more of the other. They make the original one not as nice as it used to be, so people buy the other ones instead. And last reason a company could reformulate a fragrance is if they think it would sell more because of that. Sometimes a fragrance, Dia Homme and Dia Homme Intense are really the best example in the whole world of perfumery. They completely changed the DNA of the fragrance to be less bold as it was and more mass appealing, more easygoing. And the reason they did this, it's because they believe if they change the fragrance formula to the way it is now, people will buy it more and they will make more money. So this is what happened with that fragrance, and it happens for the fragrances too. Sad for people that like the old DNA, but they have to live with it because that's the decision of the company. They decide with the money before with the consumer. It's just how it is. So hope you enjoyed the video. If it's the case, like and share. If there's any reason you think that I forget to name why a fragrance gets reformulated, just put it in the comment. So thanks for watching and see you soon.